Good morning. It is pre-market and we're doing a video in the futures. And basically what we're going to be showing is the weekly S&P 500 index. Okay. And we're going to show where the bull trend part happened, meaning that we had that short trend in August, then we've had that re-leveraging and we've come up and we took out these first tops now. So having said that, is that over here, as we've always said, is up above that 1150 handle. And what happens is that if we don't take out the previous day's high on a consolidation above it, but rather if it serves as resistance, and we know that price action would be failing there, and how then we would start, putting together our intraday bear and bull trades, naturally so. One of the things about the pre-market futures is that we're looking at what some of the gap open list looks like. There's not that much, because there isn't. So on an intraday level in your SMF trading platform, what you're going to be looking at is where prices come off of their price action. They go up a 369, but once they get up to that 369, up at the top of those bars, and they start to fill the SMF previous half bar, and you start to slide through there, and you want to look at shorting that, because the thing about it is, once it does it on bar 1 but serves as resistance, meaning that you don't close above it. You can close above it and then cover and come out, no problem. You're not going to get hurt because you're already wholesale entry to the trade to start with. So let's keep that in its real part of things. So I just want you to know that our pricing controls are set in the platform. So let's take a look at the gap open down list. Okay, we got Adobe. Look at that. We got Apple. Look at that. We already talked about Apple. So we got Google. Okay, we got this one here. What is that? It's your Ultra QQQs. That's gapping down. Only 22 TQQQQ. That's this one right here. TQQQ. There it is. Okay. We're going to be looking at the bear and bull funds, because if price action is failing to go higher in this current run cycle, we know that we're looking for that price failure or where the price of the market's made. So on the opening bell, we've got the futures gapping down, but nothing big. It's how the prices are going to be made at what pricing controls that are set in the platform. Here is the bid and ask. I'm at a 511.02 right now by 511.18. I had a closing price. I'm going to be looking at the left elbow gap down. Once I get price made, then they're going to walk that trade up off of that bottom, so I'm definitely going to be looking at that one there. Now, on the other hand, I'll be looking at, well, we've already done the Apple trade, so we don't need to worry about that one. What other one would you like to do? Adobe, stay away from the software. They're shorts, so any bounces, when they do bounce, they'll bounce up and they're going to roll right over. Those names are going to be weak this morning, so you know. And let's take a look at this one here. This one's gapping down. RDWR 35.71. You got 21,000 shares in pre-market. The low is in here. So I want one of the MMTs to go find out the news on this one. Some of the other shorter term names, such as this one here, NTAP, put this one in here. It has a nice trading range. And basically, we'll start doing some coverage on its intraday range in our platform today. It has a narrower price range movement, but when you get that low wholesale price in on this one, you make good moves there. So 2,000 shares and you take out, 85 cents, 70 cents, and you're enjoying those trades. Amazon is one you can look at, 150.73. These equities, Amazon, Netflix, Baidu, watch out for that price line again, because yesterday we called about sell those gaps. Remember what they did last Friday at one time, but on that FOMC meeting yesterday, you know how they slid the bid. So when you're looking at trading these, you're looking at how you're going to do a left elbow gap down in price here. You will bounce off of that bottom. You had a closing price of 150.73. So basically, what's going to end up happening is the price will get made. You'll come off of that bottom. You'll clearly see that price action in your intraday range. And when you're coming off that bottom and that gets above 15, the reading gets above 15, and you bounce and you hold at those levels, then that means your price is being made in the SMF platform. Price action in the platform on the lower end will give you these left elbow gap downs. They're famous price action made off that bottom, and when the MMT sees that big move, right, shooting that price action and shooting right through that previous half bar to the upside, they know how price is made. And it's a market maker platform that works very well. So left elbow gap down on that one. So that's a bright spot. There are other ones too that we're going into a major earnings season, and people could start selling some profits in here, which would work good for your shorts. So that's how I'm going to conclude right now as far as what we're looking at on the opening bell. We're watching for the put options that we talked about yesterday on the S&P 500. And basically, speaking of the S&P 500, here's a nice little treat for everyone right here. The S&P 500 chart that I had, I'm going to put it back up here, is we're about to break out a little higher, and the key areas on that S&P is going to be right up there. Like I said, you start seeing where that price control at the level of, let's say, if you can't break above 153.75, you're not going to get up to that 12.75 that we talked about, and up to that 12.01 mark even. So we know exactly where those contracts are because we did those yesterday. There is a live video. Here's that 1130 put right here below the market. So we're going to be watching that. But more importantly is we also have that 1150 put in pre-market. Based on what the futures are doing and whatnot, is that these contracts are wholesale. And we've been watching these, and we have coverage on these entries here as well.